Hello everyone, so today we're going to look at some more communities in the ecology section of AQA GCSE biology. So let's have a look. Species interdependence. There is an interdependence between different species. This means that one species may rely on another species for different things. So let's see some examples of this. So for shelter, so a species may depend on another one for shelter. So for example, here we've got an owl which lives inside a tree trunk. So the owl is depending on the tree species. Or for food, so a species may depend on another one for food. So if you think of a food chain, there's always something which is eating something else. So all species will depend on other species for food. So here we've got an owl depending on another bird species because they eat that as a food. Or you could think of a ladybird eating a leaf of a plant. So the ladybird depends on the leaf. And also for seed dispersal, so a species may depend on another species to spread its seed. So here we've got a picture of a dog which has got lots of seeds stuck all over it. So this dog has run through a plant, got seeds stuck on it, it'll run off somewhere else. These seeds will fall off, so they're taken away somewhere else. And then there they can germinate and grow into a new plant. So seeds need to be dispersed so that they're not growing exactly where their parents are, so they don't have to compete with their parents for the resources in the area. We've also got pollination. So a species may depend on another species for pollination, and this is the transfer of pollen. So here we've got this flower, so a plant species is depending on this bee here to pollinate its other things. Let's continue. So there is interdependence between different species, and this means that one species may rely on another species for services such as food, shelter, pollination, and seed dispersal. So here we've got just a diagram, an image of shelter, and then we've got seed dispersal, we've got food, and we've also got pollination. So stable communities. A community is stable when all the species and environmental factors are balanced and population sizes may stay more or less constant. More or less constant. So a community is stable when the numbers of individuals within it, and so the population sizes stay the same, and when environmental conditions are staying the same as well. So this is an example of an exam question. Why may removing one species from an ecosystem make it unstable? So we've talked about how different species depend on each other. So if you take away one species, other species which depend on it now don't have that. So think of the owl which was living inside the tree. If that tree is cut down, or there's no more of that species of tree in the forest, then the owl won't have anywhere to live. So this means the ecosystem is unstable because then the owl doesn't have anywhere to live. The other species which the owl predates on, then they now don't have a predator. So population numbers are going to change. So this is what the mark scheme says. So there is an interdependence between different species. This means that one species may rely on another species for services such as food, shelter, pollination, and seed dispersal. Removing one species from an ecosystem could remove a key predator or prey. This would either increase or reduce population sizes. So that's more or less what I said. So we understood that well. So when a community is stable, the populations within it are, so they're not changing, are they? So that means it's fairly constant. So what might species depend on each other for? So we've already got pollination, we've got seed dispersal, we've got food, and then during the owl on the trees, we've got shelter. So let's move the toggles around. A community is stable when species are balanced, correct? It's stable, things aren't changing, so the environment is balanced, and population numbers are constant. So which of these is not something that a species might depend on another species for? So if you remember the four things, it was shelter, seed dispersal, pollination, and food. And so they wouldn't depend on another species for mates, because the definition of a species means that two individuals can breed with each other. And if you think about it, if it's a separate species, they're not going to be able to breed with it, so they won't be looking for mates. Okay, and we're done.